Okay, so next unboxing, I just did a whole bunch of Oracle decks tonight that I just been having here sitting on my desk for a while. There was like 5 of them. So now I got a couple tarot decks that are, these aren't really new, like these have been out for a little bit. They're just new to me in terms of I have not opened and worked with them yet. So you may be familiar with one or both of these, and that's cool if you are. So this first one is the Slutist Tarot. I've kind of had my eye on this one for a little while and just didn't pull the trigger until maybe like a month or so ago, and it's sort of just been sitting here waiting on me. So here is the creator, Morgan Claire Serene or Siren, I'm not sure how she pronounces her name. But it is a standard 78 card deck. And the illustrations are really neat. What I do really like about this is it is a sex positive deck. Here I'm going to show this really quick. There is a link you can go to download the instructions as well as a guidebook. And I did do that and I printed it off just because I'm old enough that I kind of like to have printed things in my hands. So this is what the card backs look like. Kind of fun, colorful. Card stock is pretty standard. I would say that this is a standard card stock. It's neither super glossy nor matte. It's kind of just somewhere in between. And let's go through the cards. The great thing I do like about this is this deck also has, it's one of those decks that's made an attempt at representation and inclusivity. I've blogged before about the whitewashing of tarot, and so I do try as much as I can to find decks that are purposefully inclusive and they don't whitewash the way that traditional decks always used to, or in many cases still do. So what I do like is this deck is more inclusive, not just of ethnicity, but also of gender orientation or sexual orientation. So we've got really kind of neat. Here, I'll hold these closer so you can see. And of course, I'm an adult. I'm a sex positive person. I think this is so fucking great. If you are someone that is easily offended, hopefully you're not following me if that's the case, because I don't filter anything. But if you are easily offended or find these themes to be uncomfortable, just know that there's a whole lot of nudity and genitalia, which I think is great. And you can notice that, some of the cards obviously are not, in the major arcana especially, are not the same as what you might be used to. Another thing too is that the art, so this is not, I would not say that this is a standard Rider-Waite based deck. So if you don't really have card meanings memorized, this deck might be harder for you to start with, or harder for you to figure out the meanings. Here's another one that's an example of a card that's different in this deck than what you would find in a standard one. Same thing, the Hanged Man or Suspension. And like I said, this deck isn't really a new deck. It's just newer to me. I've had it and just haven't had a chance to open it and really take a look at it until now. So I wanted to include it in all the unboxings I'm doing tonight. And so then in this deck, when you unwrap it, the cards, actually the queen is higher than the king in the suits. And there's a princess instead of a knight and prince instead of page. So just know that also. Again, it doesn't really follow Rider-Waite imagery, and it also kind of takes its own take on the suits, which I think is cool, as long as you know which one you're reading. I'm going to go kind of fast through the rest of these because it is a standard 78 card deck. Again, very inclusive, very diverse, also very sex positive. It's a deck that has a great feel to it. It definitely has a fun, kind of lighthearted feel, kind of like that like super filthy mouthed, blunt best friend that you tell all your secrets to and you know they're going to give you like a straight up answer. That's how I would describe the energy on this deck. I think a lot of them are definitely, you could definitely read the standard meanings from them. Some of them would be a little bit harder to infer. They'd be a little more abstract, but cool nonetheless. All right, we're almost done. I'm gonna kind of go through the rest. This is the 6th deck tonight, unboxing. Like I said, this one's not necessarily a super new deck, just one that I haven't had a chance to really dive into yet. It's been sitting on my desk for a while. I like it. It's got good energy. Like I said, it kind of just feels like that, like, you know, blunt best friend. The cool thing about this too, like I said at the beginning, is this is a very sex positive deck. And so the premise here is it is inclusive, it's diverse, it's meant to make you think, it's meant to kind of portray archetypes, but also sexual archetypes in a light that maybe helps you embrace and understand yourself on a different level. Again, it doesn't really follow standard Rider-Waite imagery in many cases. So if you are a novice or very new to tarot, this might be a harder deck to read from in terms of the standard meanings. But very cool deck. All right, I got one more to go through tonight. It is another tarot. I've done all the oracle ones for tonight that I'm going to do. So I'm going to jump off and jump right back on.